you're still using language as though you're like, you always had the intention of paying it back. Step one
I
is
did.
recognize-
I did. I know you won't believe that. I know. No one will. No one will. I always did. I always did. I always had my intention to.
That's part of the addiction. That's like you have to acknowledge that, because that's what's feeding the loop here. Is that in your head it's like, I can always pay them back as long as I win big this time. If I just get another 100,000 or 200,000 or whoever will give me the money, and then I bet big, I win big, I'll have all the money to pay them back, and I walk out of this entire problem on top.
Try and pay these people back.
At this point, if you want to acknowledge that you have an addiction and this is what caused it or fueled it or whatever to do all these horrifying things, then you have to admit that you've stole money from all these people. Okay, so I'm sure some of you already know this because it is the biggest story happening on this platform right now, this platform being Twitch. Twitch is a platform where you will get banned if you say the C word. If you refer to yourself, even if you happen to be a C word like myself, if I call myself the C word, you know, I think saltine is still okay, but there's certainly a word that will get me banned if I say it. Also, if you happen to be a woman or female presenting and you show a nipple, you will also be banned on this platform. These are some of the rules that Twitch has set. Twitch has a monstrously huge problem right now with gambling. It really does. I believe at this point it is the 7th most popular game played, and we're talking about slots, played on this entire streaming network. It's gambling. Gambling I've exposed a couple times, and also much better creators than me have done really deep dives, such as Mooncat. Please, if you haven't seen it already, go watch Mooncat's video on the problem with the gambling meta that is going on. If you're unfamiliar with it, a couple of the biggest streamers, XQC and Trainwreck TV specifically, both of them do slot gambling, cryptocurrency streams on a regular basis that are incredibly popular. Sometimes XQC can have nearly 100,000 people watching them. Sometimes Trainwrecks can have something close to, I would say, like 30,000, 40,000 people watching. They will do marathons, they will gamble for as long as they can, and these cryptocurrency gambling websites, they get sponsorships from them, they get sign-up codes from them to get their audiences to sign up and to do it. It is incredibly, incredibly dangerous because they have a parasocial relationship with their chats, with their fan bases. People love them. They have, they're huge and massive streamers, but also there's a parasocial relationship formed between people who watch gambling and wanting to do gambling. Because when you see Trainwreck's playing with money that he doesn't have to worry about, by the way, if he's getting $100,000 a month from these companies, it's fine for him to play 1,000 hand slots, as in I push a button and then it just runs on its own, and then it's like, you lost $1,000, you lost $1,000, you lost $1,000, you won $3,000, you lost $1,000, you lost $1,000, you lost it. Like, that's what it is. And then just watching, and everything about those slot machine games has been finely tuned, because this is just how slot machines work, to be able to be as addicting as possible. The sounds, the noises, the patterns, the animations, the way the combinations work, the way you can get you know, combos, deals, big jackpots, shit like that. It is designed from the ground up to be as addictive as possible. So these people have thousands of people watching them, thousands of fans, and they are promoting this on a regular basis. I don't give a fuck that Trainwreck starts his streams by saying you shouldn't gamble, or puts an 18 plus in the title saying gambling's a bad idea, lol, or stuff like that. That doesn't change the fact that both XQC and Trainwreck are converting lots and lots of people to cryptocurrency gambling and casinos. How do we know this? Because the companies that are spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on these big streamers need to get an ROI, a return on investment. If they were not converting lots and lots of people to their platforms, they would stop spending that much money to continue to promote them. And it's not just those two, by the way. Those two are the worst by far. They have the biggest platform. They have the most responsibility for doing this, but it doesn't matter. This is a scalable problem. There are smaller streamers. Like, fuck, even I've been approached. I've gotten emails from these companies. There's smaller streamers who may only have 200 viewers, may only have 50 viewers, and they sponsor them relative to their audiences. It's like, hey, we'll give you $500 a month, and then we just need you to stream you playing our slots X amount of hours. You can do $1 hands, that way you won't lose a ton of money and you can keep doing it for a really long time, and just get your audience. It's a scalable problem. Doesn't matter if it's a massive you know, streamer like XQC and Trainwrecks, who do have the most responsibility on their hands, or these other people. It's just gambling, gambling, gambling. As most people probably have already heard, the addiction of gambling, which is an addiction like any other, carries with it the highest potential rate of an increase in suicidal ideation of any addiction. Apparently, it is to a magnitude of 15 times. You are 15 times more likely to contemplate committing suicide, unaliving yourself, if you happen to be addicted to gambling. Now, this is not just going to be a shit on gambling stream, because again, every addiction is something that is in moderation. I'm personally not a gambler, but I don't want to take that away from people who like gambling. If you want to meet up with your friends, have a couple beers, play a game of poker, absolutely nothing wrong with that. Just a fun way to hang out, make it a little bit more interesting by putting some skin in the game. Y'all each throw down $20, $100, whatever you're comfortable with, and then you just play and you hang out with each other, and that's a social thing you do. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong whatsoever. Weaponizing a massive, massive audience that you have like hundreds of thousands of viewers, and then trying to indoctrinate them into casino style gambling slot machines, which I'm sorry, but the actual payout and wins these is going to be like fantastically in the favor of the house. Is absolutely unethical. It is incredibly fucked up. Doesn't matter how you justify it to yourself. I mean, the justification ultimately is money. It's like, fucking look at my massive apartment, look at my cars, look at all my shit, right? That's how you do it. But it's a massive problem. Any addiction, whether it's gambling, whether it's sex, whether it's drugs, whatever it is something that you have to look at yourself and say, is it negatively impacting my life, the lives of people I care about, people around me, and it is something that I'm unable to stop or even unable to acknowledge. That's addictions, okay? Anyways, this all being said, Sliker, who's apparently one of the larger streamers, I don't watch his content, not a fan, he has been for a long time coercing his audience into giving him money and coercing other big streamers into giving him money, some of them for tons and tons of money, and blowing it all away in gambling. No. Sliker is how it's pronounced. All right.
Man, wallah, I never knew this tape was gonna come, bro. Wallah, I don't know what to say, boys. Wallah, I don't know what to say. It's time for the truth. It was the hardest thing. I'm sorry, bro. This is not, man.
It's pronounced Sliker. He's slick as in he's not that big compared to other people. He's around 5K. 5K is still a monstrously huge audience. 5K, like, that still puts you, I think, in the top 200 of Twitch streamers.
I do apologize, man.
Oh, I think he's around 900.
Wallah, I hate drama. Wallah, I hate, but I got this onto myself. So,
Okay, so yeah, he's about an 800 Andy. I mean, yeah, I'm not going to change the thing whether it's 500. Oh wait, he went from 700 viewers to he was 5,000 when he was doing this stream, his apology stream. Well, his confession stream, I guess. Yeah, that's to be expected. I mean, your organic numbers, whatever your stable line is, like if it's 500 or whatever, if you do intense drama or intense debates or a feud with someone in real time, then your numbers all just, that's the reason everyone does it. That's why everyone is constantly firing shots at each other, because the numbers, everyone pays attention to the drama.
yeah, I borrowed money off people. This started in, it didn't even start. It started to the people that are watching. I know I will never be able to ask I would never be able to ask for forgiveness. I'm ill. Well, I need to say it. It started when I worked a long time ago. It's so hard to say this, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm just gonna get with it. Ever since CS:GO, not to blame, but ever since CS:GO launch came out, it was the first time I went on that site, and it was a fun place to be on, you know, gamble skins and stuff, and Uh, wow. Eventually, I found out you could gamble with money. I
He got hooked on video game skins. Yeah, that's wild. I can't, like, what? That's the origin to your story in gambling. Like, there's a really popular restaurant chain in Vancouver called Han's Wonton House, and apparently, like, there's this rumor, I've never had it confirmed, but everyone's always spoken about how allegedly the owner of it, because all of a sudden there was a lot of them, and then they all started closing down, and then someone was like, well, yeah, the one of the owners is addicted to horse races or horse racing, because that is another thing you can gamble on. You can gamble on which is the fastest horse that goes around the circle. Tyrannical Rex, thank you very much. But again, I'm not here to shit on people's addictions, okay? Addictions are a serious thing. Gambling addictions ruin lives. I have had family members whose lives were completely ruined by gambling. I'm really, really happy for all the vices that I adore. Gambling's never been one of them. I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. Like, anytime I've ever been in a casino with friends, I just lose money, and I'm like, that was the point of it? It's like, well, don't you get the rush when you won? I was like, not really. I guess it's nice to, like, see your chip double, but then it goes away after, and now it's gone, and I've lost $20, and I don't have the $20 anymore, and I want that $20 back. So I don't understand this, but you do you. All right, I way more understand social gambling, you know, like if you want to meet up with friends and just play cards like that, fine. That's just like, it's like any group of friends who want to play a board game, but you add something to it. Like, let's play Snakes and Ladders. It's like, oh, well, let's make it interesting. Yeah, whoever loses has to pay everyone else $5. It's like, okay, it's the same thing, but we made it a little bit more spicy, right?
I started to gamble with money, and this was even when I started having my first job, and then yeah, I used to gamble a lot of my money, basically all my Twitch money. And then even them times I wouldn't even have them. I'd come across streamers and ask them if I could borrow money, and obviously I wouldn't give them the reason. Obviously, because it was gambling, I would lie to them. My initial thoughts was I will be paying them back. I do want to say I never intended in scamming anyone, and I was still.
So here's something you should know about the psychology of gamblers, because I did know a professional poker player. I actually got to speak to one at one point, and I was like, how do you like deal with the highs and lows that your job requires and the addictive properties of it? And he's like, I eventually had to get out. And he's like, everyone does at certain points, because you have to reckon with the fact that there is the gambler's high, which is that you genuinely in your heart of hearts believe that you'll always be able to come out on top no matter what the situation, no matter how, it's the sunk cost fallacy, no matter how deep the hole, you're always, if you could just get money, you can pull yourself back out of it and then come out on top. It's like, I lost $100. If I could just borrow $5 and then I can get to a certain point, I can make $200, and then I can pull myself out, I can pay you back, and then we can do this whole thing. And you just spiral into this. You just keep doing that over and over. Like, fuck, I just lost $100,000. That's really bad. That's more than my year's salary. But if I could message Trainwrecks and get $150,000 and then gamble big, and then I make $300,000, well then boom, I not only paid off that $100,000 debt, but the thing is, if you're in this constant spiral, there's no end. Like, it never stops. It's the same, like, you've seen enough movies, you don't even have to know someone who's like in this world, you've seen enough movies to see that they always go back. It's always like, wow, you won. The movie could end, you know, like that Diamonds movie with Adam Sandler. Like, right there, you could pay off all your debts and walk away clean, and that'll be it. But it never ends, because you always have to chase that fix. And the mentality is always going to be like, all right, woo, I'm out of the hole. I can pay off all my debts. I'm not going to be hunted by loan sharks. This is great. I can get my family back, everything. Or I could do one more round. One more roll, baby. If I just do one more, I can take this $100,000 that would get me out of all my debts and holes, and I could make $200,000. And with $200,000, I get out of all my debts and holes, but I also have $100,000 profit. You know?
Pay off the people I owe. I don't give a fuck whether I reach 90. I know I shouldn't even be saying this. People are gonna be like, you think I'm gonna wait that long for my money? It was believe in karma. That's all I'm gonna say. Believe in karma. What I did was horrible, lying to multiple people out there.
I told you to gamble all your money you raised by Palestine for Palestine by buying Doge. You could have had billions. I mean, at one point, I probably could have had what, like $10,000 or something. No, maybe more. But now it's worth what, 8 cents? So not only would I have scammed a whole bunch of people who thought they were giving money to Palestinian relief efforts, it would have, yes, line would have gone up temporarily, and then it would have plummeted to like 8 cents. So now it would have been worth like fucking pennies on the dollar. And also, I would have been a horrifyingly bad human being for doing all that. But anyways, this is obviously like, you know, I think it's super fucked up to scam your audience for anything. It doesn't matter if it's to fuel your gambling addiction. It doesn't matter if it's to sell them NFTs or to get them to invest in something you intend on rug pulling or whatever the case. I think it is a really fucked up thing to do that to your audience. You're taking advantage of the parasocial relationship that 2V form, just like it's a fucked up thing to fuck your audience, right? Because a whole bunch of people for the first time on a bigger scale might be like, oh, wow, you're really hot, blah, blah, blah. Can I send you nudes? And then, sure, let's take advantage of this, blah, blah, blah. Like there's a power imbalance. You're taking advantage of it. You're utilizing the parasocial relationship. That's really bad. In addition to lying to fellow content creators to get the money, to get lots of money, you know, asking Trainwrecks for what, $150,000 or whatever the case, and lying to them because you're telling them that they're going to pay off your taxes. If Sliker had told any single one of them, this is for my gambling addiction, so I'm going to need you to help me because I got to get out of the hole, and you help them, then you are a part of the problem because you're reinforcing their addiction. The same thing applies to other addictions in other forms, right? There's been numerous times where I've had to tell close friends or very close family, I'm sorry, I don't want to be an enabler. I will help you. I will help you get help. I will help you get clean, whatever you need. But I know what you are asking for is something that is eventually going to kill you. And I don't want to be a part of the enabling process. And unfortunately, it became one of those situations where they ended up dying from overdoses.
Clean up your room.
And not from something that I'd given them, but just because they couldn't stop. And there's so much fentanyl in the streets, that kind of stuff. So you're actually, you know, emboldening someone's addiction if you're directly trying to say like, oh, just one last fix, I can help myself out. I'm going to be able to pull myself out of this gambling hole, whatever the case. Neil Chinchilla, thank you very much for the sub. But apparently this was people just straight up being like, I need money. I'm in debt. Got to pay a tax. Got to pay this. Whatever the case will be. Right.
I'm sorry if anyone was trying to call me on Discord. It's really hard. It is really hard. I'm sorry. I can't answer it.
So anyways, Sliker goes on to explain how he had how he has a severe gambling addiction, and that, you know, because of his addiction, he's lost all the money. Things got worse because other big streamers jumped in. I haven't watched this edited video of it, so I was going to kind of try and use it to catch up with everything. But my understanding was that he's being pulled out of this hole by these other massive streamers, such as Ludwig, XQC, and all of them. And this whole thing, like, I think absolutely, if they have the method and a way to help out the people who got scammed, especially someone who was apparently a cancer patient who needs the money, please, yes, that's a good thing. Go forth, help out those people. You know, do that kind of stuff. If it's just to pay back other obscenely rich streamers and kind of erase this whole thing as being bad from the internet, or erase this whole problem with gambling and gambling addiction in Twitch, because I think that's one of the reasons why XQC and Trainwrecks don't want light being shed on this problem. That gambling addiction is so serious. It's so serious, and on top of all of that, it's being promoted on such a mass scale now, and it never used to be this way. Like I don't remember when every single night Trainwrecks was a slot machine show. Like he would do like a podcast, and he would talk to his audience, and there would be video games and other stuff, but it wasn't always like slots. And XQC, I mean, at least XQC pulled out of this for a little while. Like there was this big nosedive, and he got called out by H3H3 and Hasan, and they were just like, this is gross what you're doing, because you have thousands of kids watching you who are now becoming addicted to cryptocurrency gambling because of what you're doing. And so he kind of like took a step back from it, but now it's like right back in. I mean, I guess the money is just too good.
That people don't think that you look or sound remorseful at all, right?
I'm never going to ask anyone anymore. The why? If I didn't get caught, I would have still asked.
Basically, what happened is, yeah, here it is. Sliker allegedly scammed multiple viewers out of amounts ranging from hundreds of thousands on the promise of paying them back in 2 months. Some of them dating back 2 years now. It was pretty crazy. I mean, it is pretty nuts, right? Train gave him 100K, I heard, but Train is like juiced out the wazoo. Train always does that shit. He's crazy, dude. The receipt on those on the thread is wild. Yeah, I mean, dude, everyone, bro. He asked everyone. I'm looking at our conversation. He asked everyone. He basically said, like, the first time he asked me was like 2020, I think, 10/26/2020. He said, Habibi, I'm sorry, I need to pay a favor. My PayPal got locked and it's got money and shit, but any chance you can lend me like 500 for a week and I got it, I'll give it back to you. Don't worry, this is me. You can call me or DM me or any other platform. Embarrassing to ask. I'm sorry, but at the moment I'm for bills. It happened. Worst timing. When he asked that, I was like, all right, sure thing. Because I thought he was in need. He was in need of, like, I thought he legit needed money. You know what I mean? And from what I understand, some people gave him like 10K, bro. Some people gave him a lot. But then he hit me up on Instagram recently and he sent me like a voice memo, which is, I think, nearly identical to this. And it turns out he's like asked almost like hundreds of thousands of dollars, 100K from just Trainwrecks. You know what I mean? Like, so he asked money from everyone. I feel kind of bad for him too, though. Like, I mean, he's a major scammer, right? Like, and he fucking like scammed small streamers and shit. That's really fucked up. And this is definitely like super fucking illegal too, on top of everything else. But like, he scammed kids and shit too. But ultimately, like, I don't want him to fucking, like, kill himself or some shit. Like, that'd be terrible. Like, I hope he gets the help he needs. Cause, it's a sad state of affairs. The thing about gambling addiction, and I talked about this so fucking much. This is exactly what happens when you have a gambling addiction. When you are literally fucking going crazy, it's not like mentally breaking your fucking brain so much that you can't actually like go out and like when you do drugs, it kind of incapacitates.
Did he ever try to grift me? No, I've never had a DM from, I mean, it would be a weird DM because I'd be like, I have no idea who you are. Like I said, I don't really watch, I didn't even know how to pronounce his name. I don't really watch Sliker's content. I have seen him before on the old Raj Royale, back when that was the thing. Hey, Neon Chinchilla, thanks for giving this sub to Comrade Hober. I remember seeing him like be really aggressive with people. But like, it's not my scene, so I had no interest in watching it. This is a great freeze frame of Hasan, by the way. But yeah, like I never got that DM. It would have been a weird DM to get.
Incapacitates you a little bit, right? It breaks your brain after a while. Whereas like if it's gambling, you can still like you lie, scam, steal. Like it doesn't incapacitate you as much. Could you explain who the heck this guy is? I don't think I've ever heard of him. Old heads remember Sliker is like an old Raj Royale contestant. Yeah. He was a British Muslim Iraqi streamer who would say that he was doing the 0161 shit. Basically, I mean, look, I've known this man. His father watches you too. It's sad all around. Yeah, I think his dad watches me, is what he said. So I'm sorry, Papa Sliker is watching right now. This is a story as old as time itself. People have done this so many fucking times. This is part of the reason why I've talked about Gamba. I've talked about how I'm gonna stop saying Gamba. It makes it sound so fucking childish. Gambling, okay? Gambling. It is one of the most suicidal addictions, okay? It is one of the most suicidal addictions. There's a fucking reason why I was so aggressively anti-gambling on the platform, okay? Jesus Christ. Like I feel like I'm infantilizing it by saying gamba, gamba, gamba. It's gambling. It's really fucked up and really wrong and really bad. And maybe people will fucking recognize that, like, what Sliker did was horrifying, awful, wrong. No one is gonna fucking defend him on that, right? But gambling addiction is horrifying for this reason. It ruins families. It ruins people.
Yeah, like what Sliker did, again, it should be condemned. You should not be scamming your audience for money to fuel your addictions. That's wrong. And yeah, no one's gonna defend that. And scamming other content creators for money to fuel your addictions, also wrong. You shouldn't be doing that. But Hasan's totally right here. This speaks to a much larger problem, and one that Twitch is completely ignoring. And I'm assuming because of the numbers. If gambling, slot machines, games of chance, and most importantly, cryptocurrency gambling. This is all fucking cryptocurrency based. If that is becoming such a popular genre on Twitch, that it's reaching like the 7th highest Twitch stream, like I still tune in when I'm flipping through Twitch channels to fucking panels, mostly of all dudes who are complaining nonstop about women and their cleavage, about fucking hot tub streamers, about bikini streamers, about women ASMR and all this shit, being like, it's disgusting that Twitch won't like rein this in. They're getting all these horny men to give up their life savings. They're giving like they're powerless to resist them. It's like it's pornography. It's disgusting. These women have OnlyFans. Kids can find their OnlyFans. Like, we hear about that nonstop, all day, all night. These are talentless women who just have big tits, and the only reason that people watch them is because of their tits, even though a lot of them are fucking infinitely funnier than a lot of the dudes who complain about them. A lot of them are so fucking good at roasting perverts in their streams, are so fucking quick on the draw with their comedy. Like, they're still entertainers like everyone else, just because they happen to be attractive entertainers. Like, this is considered a very attractive entertainer. Hasan, you know, he squishes watermelons with his fucking thighs. I don't see constant panels being like, Hasan is so fucking beautiful, he's so sexy, he can crush a watermelon with his fucking legs, he has no talent, he's just scamming people out of money because they just watch him because he's so hot, and they're powerless, and he doesn't actually like contribute anything to society. People just watch him because like they fucking can't get lost in his dreamy eyes, like all that shit. No, this happens just to women. This is just yet another part of the hating women ecosystem. These same people fucking love jerking off to pictures of women, but if it's a woman who's actually in control of her own fucking income and show, then it's like, oh, this has to stop. This is the fucking worst thing in the world. Radio silence on the gambling shit, on genuine addictive gambling pipeline stuff. Again, if Trainwrecks and XQC were not converting thousands of kids, and or you have to be 18 plus to sign for these sites, I know, but if they were not converting thousands of their fans into people who are spending money in those gambling sites, they wouldn't get fucking those sponsorships. Like, no one is going to spend $100,000 a month on a big streamer's promo if they're not getting ROI on it. If that doesn't result in conversion, and if it does and it's successful, you keep doing it. That's why this hasn't stopped. That's why they keep doing it. That's why they keep making these big streams. And it's a force of feedback. It's so addictive, and they know that the people watching it also get addicted to watching it. They watch this thing and they're like, oh damn, wow, that's so cool. Oh, he just won 100,000. He just won $1 million. I feel like I just won $1 million. Whoa, the parasocial. I'm signing up. I'm signing up, bro. Look at that. Trainwrecks just won $1 million. Who doesn't get to fucking win? Big wins.
This is the reason why people say like gambling is really fucked up and it's really bad, and maybe we shouldn't get like children hooked on it. And we heard about this already. We fucking heard about Mitch Jones. Like he's losing all his fucking money too. There are a lot of streamers and a lot of people themselves who are like addicted to gambling. And
fucking GOAT editor Ostenox just made a commercial for Twitch.
Games, fun, slots, money, slots, wins, gamble, money, gamble, jackpot, penthouse suite, expensive cars, you with a girl, winning money, wins, gamble, fun, slots, 40-hour streams, you in a McLaren, fucking buck, gamble, more, you fucking pussy, more wins, more money, more slots, charity, gamble. Please gamble responsibly.
Yeah. Know your limit. Play within it, of course. Fucking on point.
And stake.com sponsorships are certainly not fucking helping anybody on that front. I don't know how to explain to people how empathy should work in a situation like this, because like addicts are victims themselves. This is actually a fundamental flaw in the way that like Americans understand crime and punishment. So there's a much larger conversation to be had. One that I have regularly on this broadcast. A lot of you are already familiar with this because I've talked about it so much. I've talked about it endlessly. We look at people who have done crimes, regardless of whether they're an addict or not, as bad people and moral failures, right? And we don't really think about like the steps it took. No human being is born a bad person. Everyone is susceptible to outside influence. And these kind of triggers, this kind of like slow drip that ultimately turns into a much larger problem in your life doesn't happen overnight. And it certainly doesn't happen because you're a bad person.
True.
It can happen to anyone. That's why I'm saying like I'm very fortunate because of my life experiences. I'm very fortunate because I took all of the graduation funds that I had to Vegas for the first time ever when I was in 2013. I went to Vegas for CES and I lost $4,000 in a matter of a couple days, okay, in like 1 or 2 days. And then I was like, oh, well, I'm done. Never doing that shit again. And I was very fortunate. It could have gone the exact other direction. And that was 10 years ago for the record. I've had a couple moments like that. And you didn't scam anyone after that? Man, you're crazy. It could have gone a different way is what I'm saying. What if I fucking went in with 4K and then actually won 10K? First time gambling ever. I go in with 4K, I win 10K. That's over. It's done. I'm hooked on gambling for the rest of my life. What if I was a big fucking fan of the juicer as an impressionable 21-year-old, a big fan of like some fucking Twitch streamers, and I was like, maybe I should try my hand. I got $4,000. I'm seeing these guys making big wins. Maybe I should try my hand at this crypto gambling shit. That's how this shit works. It's luck. Luck plays a serious role in all of this stuff. I was lucky because I didn't win. You should have sympathy for addicts. You should have sympathy for addicts regardless, especially because it is like a functionally an uncontrollable thing. Like they just cannot control themselves. And it can happen to those who you love as well. Easily. It can happen to you easily when you don't even realize it. So be kind. Sliker is on Discord saying he lost 11 Bitcoin due to gambling, 200K. Plus wants to do a 1-year-long subathon to pay people back. Wagered 1 million on dual bits, never played slots, and only bet on sports. He also scammed Nim. This is actually another fucking problem too. Let's talk about this, okay? Because it is gambling addiction still. I know that a lot of people, when they hear like, oh, he never wagered on slots, so like, I guess it wasn't XQC's fault or whatever the fuck. Yeah, no shit. Sports betting is still gambling. And not only that, but I've talked about this before as well, that is quite literally overtaking professional sports as well. That's another gigantic issue that...
Wait, who thinks sports betting isn't gambling? it's 100% gambling. It may be a little bit more drawn out in terms of how long it takes to get the gamble to complete, but it's by definition gambling.
Even though there are supposedly checks, right? In sports betting, there's at least like some level of like security. You know, it's not as easy as like cyber casinos. But sports betting is, again, another fucking incredibly addictive form of gambling that is overtaking the professional sports too. On the sports gambling,
Sports gamblers don't think it's gambling? Really? Oh, it's 100% gambling. I know people who sport gamble and have been unable since they got deep into it to enjoy sports in the same way if there's no money riding on the game. It's like they still love watching whatever their sport. I don't want to out anyone, so whatever the sport of choice is, let's say figure skating. But if they don't bet on the figure skating and who's going to win, then it doesn't give them the same amount of enjoyment and pleasure anymore.
I think even players get involved, and the leagues often harshly punish players, which should show how dangerous sports gambling actually is. Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is one of the greatest athletes of all time and also was a gigantic degenerate gambling addict. That's all I'll say on the matter. We don't know what some of the reasons were as to why he retired, but you can...
Like your bet on tennis, I don't think of that as a betting sport. You can gamble on anything. You can gamble on political results. You can gamble on like who's going to win X show before it like is really like things like that.
Figure it out. Why do you think it took this long for him to be exposed? I think it took this long for him to be exposed because this kind of stuff happens behind the scenes all the time with streamers. Like, we just don't fucking talk about it. It got to a point where he, like, quite literally asked every fucking person so many goddamn times that, like, he asked the wrong person the wrong amount, and they were like, okay, I'm fucking calling it out. I'm 17, by the way. What is this? I streamed with you, grew your TikTok account to 136K followers, showed you my financial struggles, and yet you tried finessing me over 17 and 12 months of you, asking me for money till literally 8 days ago. Shame on you, Sliker. Every hair that fell off was for every dollar you stole. God damn, bro. You didn't have to do them like that. Listen, Sliker might not see your call outs, which he probably will, but other bald people are going to hear you say that, okay? I'm just kidding. It's just sad, man. It's so fucking sad. It's such a sad state of affairs, you know? Like, there's people that have been in situations similar to this where they didn't behave that way. I've struggled with addiction, as I've openly stated, okay? And I was...
What's his addiction? He was like a smoker, or he's like a vapor? Austin Ox said in chat that Sliker lost it all on tennis bets. Ah.
lucky enough to be able to deal with it because I had a good support system. I don't know. Bro, people should not feel sad for him. He's a cucklord for doing that. Yeah, what he did was the biggest piece of shit ever, dude. He scammed so many motherfuckers. But ultimately, I do think that, like, Sliker in this situation, regardless of whether or not his, like, you know, addiction harmed him or not, it doesn't absolve him of the responsibilities, but he still is in some ways a victim. I don't know. I know too many people, man. I know too many motherfuckers with like issues that have struggled with addiction. I myself have struggled with addiction. It's hard for me not to empathize when I see someone who's like very clearly, even if they're being like horrifyingly awful, okay, to others, it just still, I still see the other side of it as well, you know? But he definitely does need help. I mean, he's already getting backlash and he's already getting the punishment. Is he addicted or just a piece of shit? Bro, he is a piece of shit that was addicted. He is addicted and a piece of shit. Sometimes people are pieces of shit and also addicts, okay?
According to Hasan, he has problems with alcohol, cigarettes, and unhealthy relationships with food. Damn.
It can be both. The other logs of that kid who literally got 2 jobs starting selling his PS5 and gave his entire paychecks to Sliker every time, he was the most predatory thing I've ever had. Psychotic. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, addiction does make you into a...
Oh, by the way, yeah, like, I have had, again, friends and family who were hardcore addicted to drugs, specifically heroin, fentanyl, that kind of stuff, and it completely changes who you are as a person. It rewires your brain. The only thing, and this is separate from gambling addiction, obviously, but I'm just saying, they get to such a point where they completely change as people. The only thing that they care about is getting that next fix. And in pursuit of that, they run through their collection of goodwill with all their family at first until they burn every single bridge, because that's what happens. They will fool every single one of them. They will do whatever they can. You got to help me out. I want to get sober. I want to get clean. Can I please just stay at your place for like 2 days while I'm trying to figure my stuff out? It's like, yeah, of course you can. All of a sudden, someone comes home. Everything's been stolen because they go and they sell it all to do that. You only get 1 or 2 of those burns before eventually people are like, yeah, no, I'm blocking your number. I'm not talking to you anymore. They work through. It's heartbreaking because they will obviously lose the connection with their parents the last, because parents obviously never want their kids to either be homeless or be in danger or anything like that, but they'll work through all that, and every single relative and cousin and aunt and uncle that they can think of show up at their houses, blah blah blah, tell every other different story they can. The only thing that is, like, they're just playing a game in their head. It's me versus everyone else. I have to get my addiction satisfied. What, like, combination code can I crack to get people to give me money, to loan me money, to give me possessions, to give me a place to stay, give me access to being able to rob them, whatever it takes to get me there. And it fucking sucks. And then when they've worked through all of their friends and family who have blacklisted them, they start working, when they work through all their family, they start working through all their friends and all their acquaintances until they're blacklisted by every single person they know. That's just the pathway. Like, that's just what happens. And that's the road it goes down. And so, yeah, it does seem like there are similar traits with the gambling addiction, where you have burnt the goodwill of every single one of your close associates, all of your rich, super wealthy streamer friends. Like, you still owe me like $10,000. I'm not going to give you another $10,000. Like, can you just pay me back? You said 2 months, right? You start doing the cycle. Then, oh, I totally will. The only problem is I'm locked out of my PayPal account. If I can unlock my PayPal account, I can do this. But to do that, I have to pay off this debt. So if you could even give me like $1,000, this will help me out.
Piece of shit in a lot of instances. Like, I recognize how fortunate I am that it didn't.
I lost 27,000.
That's crazy.
From giving a lens to Sliker, and I guess I just couldn't, bro.
27,000.
And I'm honestly, like, I'm really fucking sad about it.
He scammed some poor girl out of her chemo money. Sliker scammed the woman in Discord who was in treatment for chemo. I wish I could talk to you on the phone. Bro, I'm not lending more until you pay back the thousands I sent already. I think it's entirely fair. Loop, I got you for sure, I promise. But I'm fucked so hard. Please forgive me. 10K on the 20th, please. No way, bro. Not so close to my transplant. If it didn't clear, 18th, give me a date before I go. 18th, 27 is my transplant date. I need the half on the 22nd. Like, if it didn't go through straight away, I'd be fucked. No, man, I'm not a bank. This is absolutely bananas, dude. This is the guy you want me to feel empathy for, Chatter? Go fuck yourself. No, I mean, dude, no one, and I mean no one is saying he's a good person. What a lot of people need to understand is bad people in bad situations that are doing horrifying things can still be victims themselves, okay? That's the difference. And it's
a really tough concept to wrap your head around. And I'm saying this as someone who's lived through it. Like, it's nearly impossible to try and talk to someone about how your relative is robbing your parents or robbing your friends or doing like that and being like, they're an addict. And it's like, yeah, they're an addict, sure, but they just fucking robbed me. They just stole all my shit. Like, fuck them, you know? Like, it's really hard to try and wrap yourself around that concept. And obviously that is fucking, that's disgusting. To take the money knowingly of someone who is telling you that they need that money to pay for chemotherapy. That, like, you've like, that's levels of depravity that I would assume someone who is deep in a heroin addiction or a crystal meth addiction would do, because they don't give a fuck about someone else's you know, personhood or even living, because deep down they just need that fix. So they've lost all of their humanity. But it's wild to see it can apply to gambling addiction as well.
Is actually a great fucking example, especially because, like, a person who can be bad is driven to doing insanely, horrifyingly fucked up shit as a consequence of their addiction. And a lot of you are not in that situation, and that's great. That's awesome. You're very fortunate that this did not happen to you, but some of you probably have family members that are like
I had a friend and his brother tried to bring
This is
me
a
to the house
perfect
multiple times,
gambling
stole
addict
my shit,
microcosm. He
stuff,
still
yeah,
believes the
that
next
sucks.
bet is going to win and he'll pay the girl back for a transplant. Yep.
been through
Having
it.
compassion for offenders is the basis of your entire view on criminal justice. Yep. That's exactly my point. It's not because, like, I know Sliker or anything like that. I always try to lead by empathy. One of the things that I describe to you as a matter of profound importance, that is one of the fundamental wrongs of the way that the American criminal justice system operates, is our draconian attitude.
I know he's an addict, but hearing about the cancer just makes me fucking angry. And, like, yeah, naturally, me too. And I'm not saying in any way the addiction does not absolve the addict of the actions that they are performing on other people, by the way. That's not it. Like, Hasan is actually nailing this point. It's difficult to wrap your head around.
Towards crime and punishment. People always are like, all right, that's it. This guy needs to be fucking killed. And I think that you got to lead the way with empathy no matter what. You got to start off always with an empathetic approach to even the assailants themselves. Empathy first for the victims, but even empathy for the people who are finding themselves in a disastrously fucked situation.
I'm really sad, and
Like, if you are an alcoholic and you get wasted, and in the course of being wasted you commit acts of violence, it doesn't absolve you of the violence. Like, the things that you've still done to people. There are still victims of your violence, right?
really depression, but at least I need to try. But he just said he even didn't try. You know what? Money was even doesn't matter at the time. I just said because he just didn't think about me. He just didn't give a fuck about me. I thought he was my friend.
I mean, this is it. This is how gambling addiction hurts so many fucking people. Sliker's on with Miskiv right now. What a fucking demon he is. Let's hear. Can you hear me?
Up, man? Yeah, man. What's up, bro?
I want to ask you questions that are about your personal experience and how you started getting addicted. And the reason why I'm asking is because, listen, motherfucker, there's a lot of people like you that get caught up in this shit, and I want to make sure that people can at the very least, learn a valuable lesson, not to find themselves in deep trouble in the same way that you found yourself.
Okay, so this is how it all started. Back in 2016, CSGO Launch came out. You could gamble skins on the website. I gambled
that long, man?
Oh, I'll tell you, wait. I gambled skins on the site, and I enjoyed it.
Fucking fully see Miskiv laughing. Why are those still a thing, by the way? If this is clearly, like, if there is a demonstrable pathway to becoming addicted to gambling. Like, I understand why the companies do it, why the corporations do it, why they're like, well, yeah, we want people to be gambling. We want them to gamble, and we want them to gamble because it makes us way more money. Gambling is so profitable under fucking capitalism for the house. The house always wins. Look at the way every single fucking game of chance is organized. They are all organized in favor of the house. Even one, like, you're gonna say, like, oh, well, what about roulette? I mean, that one is technically, I was like, there's still snake eyes, motherfucker. There's no perfect bet you can make in roulette that is a 50-50 chance that you could or could not win. There's still one little advantage, and mathematically, when you extrapolate that over thousands and thousands of hours of people playing and gambling, it is going to be advantageous that they are in the business of making money. That's what casinos do.
I was too addicted to it and shit, and then it came to the point where I found out you could gamble with money. play with $50. I wasn't rich. I wasn't a streamer or anything. I used to work a normal job. Used to. Well, I'll be soon as well. But yeah, I used to gamble like $50 to 100. I used to borrow from my managers. My managers, I would borrow from. I used to gamble from that. I saved up. I remember I placed a bet, and I won big. I won from £200. I won 6,000, and then I gave it to my dad. Then I took it from my dad, and then gambled that and lost it all. And then I eventually like stopped. My sister got mad at me. She shouted at me and she said, "Continue, I'll tell Baba." So I said, "I don't know how." She said, "Call up your bank and let them freeze your account. The only way we can access it is if I'm next to you and I have your card, so you can't do shit." And then I was like, okay, done that, stopped gambling. And eventually I came back. Like, she thought I would stop and got over it. And I wouldn't tell her, went back into it. It went into streaming, and it became even worse. I'd put in more and more and more.
So the more money you made, the more money you had to gamble.
It went from 100 from when I worked, but when I became a streamer, I started getting more, and I'd deposit in 1,000 or even sometimes 5,000 a day.
Did you ever win big?
Max I won was 20K, but that was like 2019, and I lost it all. I don't know. There's no such thing of stopping in gambling. There's no such thing. For me, there was no such thing. Winning, no. Losing, obviously not. It came to the point of late 2019, like October-ish. Obviously, I started asking my close streamers, for example, who we have right now, and then obviously Hasan and stuff.
You started asking people in 2019 originally. When you realized like you're not making enough money from streaming to support your gambling addiction.
No. I was making enough. I was making a lot, but I would lose it all to the point where I'm like, I want to continue. So I'll be like, "Yo, boys, could you help me? I have this issue."
So what I said, yes, that's what I meant.
I would lie to you guys. I also want to say that obviously I'm not proud of this. I promised myself I wouldn't go to the point where I'd ask other streamers and stuff that I've never spoken to and stuff. But obviously it went to that. And I promised myself I wouldn't ask viewers. It went to that point. It just became worse. I was dating Erica in 2020, kept it away from her. She eventually found out through John Zerka, and we'd get in like constant arguments, and I'd lie to her and say that I stopped and stuff, and it fucked up my whole life. So yeah, so I know this sounds rude, but it was a way. My initial thoughts wasn't to gamble with the money that I get. If I make a load of money, I would take it out and pay people with it.
Bro, you're saying that, but you literally were getting money from other people. From what I understand, you were getting money from other people to pay other people, right? But also simultaneously,
no, that's false. That's false. That's false.
That's not,
no.
Okay, so that's not true. So you were just getting money from other people, thinking that you were.
Let me speak, Hasan. Please, bro. Big chunks would be to people I owe. Only big chunks would be to people I owe. I'd maybe keep like a 1K for me to use and play with, but then big chunks I pay people. I owed people a lot, like even outside people. It would just keep getting worse. Like at the start, it would be owing people like 1K, 2K. Like
he doesn't even know how much he owes or to who. Jesus fucking
month. Eventually, it became like 15K, 10K, 20K a month.
Sliker, you understand that people don't think that you look or sound remorseful at all, right?
Hell, I don't give a fuck. I know. I'm not trying to. I'm not. Wait, what does that mean? As in, what do you mean? Wait, hold on. I don't want to say.
Right now, when we're having this conversation with you, or at least from my perspective, it doesn't feel like you're out of it. It doesn't feel like you are. Maybe I'm wrong.
Out of gambling. I'm never going to ask anyone anymore. Why? If I didn't get caught, I would have still asked. If I didn't get caught, I would have still asked. So the people that exposed me, these are the people I wish that came sooner in my life than later. Will I stop gambling? The only way for me to stop is I have to go to rehab.
Yes. Thank you for recognizing that. Yeah, you need. What a lot of people have not brought up in this situation is that you also do need, other than redemption or paying everyone else, because the victims come first in the situation, and holy fuck, you need like literally a class action lawsuit style website in order to be able to genuinely track down every single person that you've like stolen money from at this position, at this point. Obviously, there are people like myself and Misgive who is fine, you know what I mean? But then there is like the cancer patient that you were talking about. Okay,
right.
Like those, you are not tracking this adequately at all. You told Misgift that you only have 12 people on your list.
No.
And you deleted people from that list. You need to literally, or someone needs to literally get together every single person that you taken money from and build a website or something so that there is like an adequate tracking process. But beyond that, for you personally, what you need to actually get for yourself is help. Medical help, serious help. The UK has a lot of fucking gambling issues already. there has to be some kind of fucking counselor you need to talk to, and you need to do it immediately.
Yeah, I haven't thought of that yet. Like of course I did want to, like, I have to quit, I have to, but I'm not thinking of like fully doing the calling them up yet. I'm stun locked. I was legit stun locked from yesterday and the day before.
You're gonna be stun locked. Look, dude, your whole world is fucking going to shit. You know what I mean? Like everyone's coming out with the shit. You're gonna be stun locked. XQC and Train already said that they'll help you with the list.
That needs to also not border on enabling as well. For the record, I think it's a good thing that they're doing that, and I do agree. I've done this before as well, but that needs to be conditional on the tie it back to.
See, okay, but hold on. That's the part of this whole story that is like pretty fucked up. XQC and Trainwreck, like jumping into this and being like, we're going to bail you out. You've stolen a lot. Like, so you've stolen. You're stealing money from people. You've stolen a lot of money, both from your audience, from other content creators, and people who are dying from cancer. This is horrifying. This really, really does look bad on gambling and gambling addiction. Who are the two people who step up out of nowhere? Fucking XQC and Trainwrecks, the two biggest promoters of gambling on Twitch, to fucking not have the boat get rocked here, right? Because this looks so fucking bad. Look at how bad gambling addiction can be. Look at the depths someone will go. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. They will literally take the money that someone needs to get chemotherapy out of their hands in order to keep gambling. That's how powerful gambling addiction can be. That's fucked. Like the whole, like, and don't get me wrong, the cancer patient and every single person, and Hasan's totally right on this, who needs the bailouts should get them. Like, I'm not against the idea of the bailouts in theory. What I am against is that this whole thing is now just getting brushed over within a fucking 24-hour drama cycle, news cycle, whatever you want to call it, as like, oh, great news, everyone. Look at these heroes who came out of nowhere, who get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars every month by cryptocurrency gambling companies to promote gambling on Twitch on a scale never before seen. They're coming forward and they're making sure that the people who were wronged by gambling addiction, yes, gambling addiction is what wronged them, are going to not have to suffer because of gambling addiction. See, gambling addiction is not so bad.
Like some kind of counseling or something for Sliker as well, because if he just clears all of his fucking debts, which all those people do deserve to get that money back, absolutely, every single fucking penny. But Sliker himself is going to keep gambling. Maybe he won't be able to steal money from people like he has thus far, but he's going to still do whatever the fuck he can because he's an addict.
I will, and I said it. I said, if I, as much as a dirty person I am, it's the only thing that makes me have fun, but then at the same time makes me want to bang my head against the wall.
What do you, dude, this is crazy. You know what's fun? Fucking playing video games is fun, okay? I suck at Valorant. I play anyway. It makes me very upset when I'm losing. Makes me very happy when I'm winning. That is entirely different than what you're in. Okay.
I'll be honest, it doesn't sound like he's in a position where he's like willing to take full responsibility for this. Like, and especially now that he's going to be getting this bailout. I mean, and he's like, I admit I probably need to go to therapy kind of shit, right? Like, you're still pushing back hard on very, very mild and legitimate criticisms. Like, you know, Hasan is not being like, you know, it's fucking disgusting that someone could die from cancer, because he's not doing anything like that, right?
Okay. You need to recognize that you are no longer in like, I'm playing a game. There's something, maybe it's because we're streamers that we're so fucking far removed from reality that we can like ask other streamers for 50 grand and like they'll give it to us. But you have to understand that you are in the real world right now. What you have done is something that literally could have criminal punishments. But I feel like
if that happens, I'll take it. I'll admit to every guilt.
But I'm talking to you, and I feel like you're not even, like, gambling addiction is such a fucking insane demon that I'm talking to you and I feel like I'm talking to a wall. Like, I don't even think you recognize what is legitimately happening.
My bro, I do. I realize it. I've always realized how much of a piece of shit I am for what I've done. I always knew it. Again, people will still not believe. But if you're a gambling addict and you obviously borrow from people, where is the common sense to see that you are a good person? There isn't. All my life, I've lived as a fucking thief. Like a thief, but my intentions were to pay them back. But of course, it was still a thief because I would lie to them about the dates.
Would you go to rehab,
bro? I mean, at this point, yes.
So just to be clear, because I have dealt with people with severe addictions to drugs and going into rehab, and people who say they're going to go into rehab, like one of them was in a constant loop where they would have a cycle where they would get money by whatever means possible. Then they would get their fix. They would get on drugs, and then the morning of the hangover or the morning the drugs were off or whatever, they would go into a severe depression and a sinkhole, and then they'd be like, I have to go to rehab. I have to fix my life. I have to do this. And like, okay. And then you would try to help them and get them the resources they would do. And then as soon as that cycle and period went by, it would be immediately like, oh no, fuck this. I gotta leave, and I gotta go out, and I gotta find both alcohol and then eventually hard drugs in that cycle over and over. It's an incredibly difficult thing to get someone to go into rehab and stay in rehab, and they have to be in a point where it's not like a 50-50 I probably should, probably would be a good idea kind of place.
I don't know. I have to call. For me, it's an addiction, bro. It's the only. I'll connect to my local GP.
You
and
said
I'll,
you have $0, Sliker. I will pay for your rehab.
No,
It doesn't matter. It's NHS.
I think it's
free.
free. It's free anyway.
Okay,
It's free. He lives in a fucking civilized country.
Yeah, so
but I might message you later on and be like, "Yo, Miss, I have to pay off my NHS." I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I shouldn't even say that. That was really. It's not the time to laugh at that. But I'll message my local GP and I'll arrange it soon.
Okay.
How are we gonna get assurances that you're actually doing this and not fucking lying now that you've completely destroyed any sort of credibility that you may or may not have had?
I mean, if you want, I don't know, send you pictures, or my sister will let you guys know.
Maybe I have somebody that works for me or something that I can like help you try to figure out this mass amount of money that you owe for each person. Because I know people are trying to make lists and checking them twice of how much money is really owed. But I just want to make sure that we get every single person that you truly owe money to.
I mainly messaged the only.
To the least.
The way I done it was I will just go through all my Twitters and I'll scroll down from the start and check because I can remember.
Bro, PayPal, PayPal. You could literally.
No.
Yeah, I was like, if it's all going through PayPal, that's one. I mean, maybe if there's cryptocurrency involved as well, then yeah, that's going to complicate everything. I mean, even then, you have a ledger of every transaction you've ever made, but then you'd have to associate every wallet with each person. That would be a lot harder. I mean, Hasan is right. If you've stolen, because at this point it's stolen, you don't have the money to pay it back. But if you've stolen hundreds of thousands of dollars, like, yeah, that's kind of a website class action. Are you one of Sliker's victims? Then sign up today, be part of the class action lawsuit so that we can try and get the amount that you have owed returned to you.
Back to your
PayPal's too much. No, because there was people I repetitively paid. Like it will scroll down too long.
I know, but you can literally fucking extract your PayPal transactions and then parse
Give it to an
through
accountant
it, especially
if you need
sorting
to.
it by larger percentages or larger numbers. Scroll all the way back to 2019. If that's what it takes, that's what it takes. You've been taking money from people since 2019. It's going to be a lot of fucking work. You know what else was too much work? You fucking taking a day off from streaming to ask people, every single person, including fans of yours, including mods of yours, whatever kind of money you could get from them. That was too much work, but you did it. If you want genuine rehabilitation, which I want that for you, you need to fix yourself, and you need to also mend all of the fucking relationships, or not relationships, but all the money that you've stolen from people. Yeah, of course it's going to be too much work. What the fuck do you mean?
I wanted to say that to every person that I borrowed from, I want to say I deeply apologize. I feel a bit better, but I'm still like...
Yeah,
you're still saying borrowed. You're still using language as though you're like... You always had the intention of paying it back. Step one is
I did. I know you won't believe that. I know. No one will. I always did. I always had my intentions to.
That's part of the addiction. That's like you have to acknowledge that, because that's what's feeding the loop here. Is that in your head? It's like, I can always pay them back as long as I win big this time. If I just get another 100,000 or 200,000 or whoever will give me the money, and then I bet big, I win big, I'll have all the money to pay them back, and I walk out of this entire problem fucking on top.
Try and pay these people back.
At this point, if you want to acknowledge that you have an addiction and this is what caused it or fueled it or whatever to do all these horrifying things, then you have to admit that you've stolen money from all these people.
On my mom's life. Okay, I can't say that. I'm sorry.
You gotta stop saying on your mom's life.
I know.
Yeah, Cheeto, we watched it already.
I know, but I'm not lying. I mean it. I'm not lying. I mean it. My intentions were to pay these people back.
No, you're Okay.
You won't. I know you. You won't.
I don't believe it
for
because
example,
you're an addict.
wait,
Like, you don't know
Hassan. I've paid a few people back. You know what I'm saying? For example, Miz, when you asked
Bro,
me, I
if you
could be like,
stole
yeah, just wait 1 second, maybe this
$300,000
day,
and you
maybe
pay
this
back
day.
10, who
You know?
cares? You know what I mean? You're not even taking the necessary precautions from the jump by having like an adequate Excel spreadsheet of every fucking itemized receipt. That's insane. You need to do that right the fuck now, okay? I'm happy that you're not suicidal. That's a good thing. I think that's what XQC was trying to get across, was like, don't do anything stupid. But you have to now, okay, now that you are not in that situation, you have to fucking take accountability for your actions. And everything I've heard from you over the past hour has been a complete avoidance of said accountability. Just because you're saying like, oh, I'm a bad person, I'm sorry, does not change the reality that you're not doing the things that you're supposed to fucking do. You literally told me it's too hard to do the accounting.
I will seek for help. I will. I know this is not coming out like it's serious, bro. Just wait, and I will. Wajito said, Wajito will help me out. Even without Wajito, I'll still do it. Right?
You need to also let your dad know too. You need to let your
Okay,
family
there's
know.
this,
They're gonna hear about
but
it.
I feel like then again, bro, this don't need to be in stream when we discuss this. You know, you don't need to say this on stream. You can message me and say you need to let your dad know. If I feel like I'm too afraid, and I'll let him find out himself. It's the hardest thing for me, man. I know it's hard for everyone to find out. It was so hard for me to come out yesterday. I was gonna come out and lie. I know how disgusting that is. Because as you can see, I'm telling the truth. Yesterday I was gonna come out and lie and say that I had debts to pay off.
I don't know what else to say other than this. Okay, look, I don't know. I'm trying to go about this in the most adult way possible and handle this situation that is like otherwise definitely criminal. And I appreciate Miski for trying to get compensation for the victims. That is what matters in this situation, obviously, first and foremost, especially judging by like the people that you went after. A lot of them seemingly did not even have any money. We need some assurances from you, and we need someone in your life that is a grown adult, that is a responsible party.
Hasan, we got it. Trust me. Vegeta's my top dog. He will make sure it happens. Make sure everyone's getting paid. He's gonna go through all the shit. He'll work with Sliker. He'll get it done.
I really hope you get better, Sliker.
I appreciate that. I'm sorry, Hasan. I'm sorry. Look, I want to say as well to the people also not involved. I'm sorry to everyone hearing about this. It's unexpected. Of course, there's people out there that knew about this, but to the people that didn't, I apologize because I don't know, like it's fucking scummy. I ain't gonna lie.
Dude, that's fucking okay. I don't know if that was a productive conversation at all. I feel like it's not. I don't know. I want
to like. Even if all the people get bailed out in this situation, it doesn't change the fact that he stole the money. And that language is important because as long as you keep buying into this fallacy, the sunk cost fallacy, that's the gambler's cycle where it's going to be like, hey, by the way, if I could just borrow another $10,000, I can get $50,000 and I can pay off these people. I intended to pay them all off at one point. Like, it doesn't matter what the addiction has made you believe at that point. It's an endless cycle. And it got to a point where you ran out all your goodwill. You cycled through every single person you possibly could milk for this. All the big streamers, the rich streamers, all the other content creators, streamers who don't even know who you are, and then your own fans and mods and fucking, you had run out of abilities to get vast amounts of money from people to be able to fuel the addiction over and over.
There's not an internal issue. You're not fucking HR. Call the cops. Yeah, I think this is a legal problem. This guy got exposed in less than 24 hours. His ass gets saved. He has no remorse. No, the problem is the problem in this situation, understandably.
You say sunken costs, you might be thinking of gambler's fallacy. Well, wouldn't it be both?
The streamers, they want to help the victims. But I'll just say this much. What you listen to, from my point of view, and I've been in this situation. I've been in these shoes. I'm gonna keep it real. You are watching a person that has not hit rock bottom or has like the true remorse. That's all.
So the sunk cost fallacy describes our tendency to follow through on an endeavor if we already have invested time, effort, money into it, whether or not the current costs outweigh the benefits. The difference being the gambler's fallacy, also known as the Monte Carlo fallacy or the fallacy of the maturity of chances, is the incorrect belief that if a particular event occurs more frequently than normal during the past, it is less likely to happen in the future, or vice versa, when it has otherwise been established that the probability of such events does not depend on what happened in the past. I would say it's both. I would say this is both the Monte Carlo fallacy and the sunk cost fallacy happening simultaneously.
Oh, that's what it looked like to me. It felt like there was, I mean, every time I offered any pushback whatsoever, he was jumping. Like the only time he actually like ever had any emotion, like
Did they get to the part where the person who has chemo calls in? Wait, this video's almost over. When did that happen?
any kind of fucking anger or whatever was whenever I like actually, you know, said anything about his situation. Why do you think Trainer X is trying to help pay? Because they want to cover it up. I mean, I think part of the reason why is it's the same as like what you saw. I mean, Ludwig has gotten himself involved in paying people as well, in paying the victims as well. Like, there is definitely a genuine interest in...
I don't need to watch that for content just to, like, you know, express my overall thesis with this whole thing, this whole fiasco, again, goes back to the fact that Twitch seems to be completely and utterly fine with something as dangerous as the hardcore promotion of gambling addiction. Not even just gambling. I probably wouldn't even have a problem if, like, you know, Train, XQC, and 2 or 3 other friends all just showed up at each other's house IRL and had conversations while playing poker or something like that. They're gambling, yes. They're probably gonna have very high stakes, yes, whatever. But that is different to me than the weaponization of highly addictive cryptocurrency slot machine style gambling to addict people to gambling in general. That is the purpose of them getting I'm being paid so much for this. Like, they are making money while they are converting thousands of their fans into online gamblers, of which there is very, very low probability of success that people are going to walk away from that and then suddenly be like, damn, Train, thank you so much for, like, you know, streaming about how good gambling is all the time. That kind of shit.
Why people want to do
it was heartbreaking to hear. I can't imagine.
Do it, especially the fans. Like, that's the reason why they want to help. I mean, sure, there's a PR component to it as well, but if as far as Sliker goes, like, if he can't even fucking tell his dad that he has this problem, like, I mean, he doesn't truly feel like he did something wrong, you know what I mean? 100% they had Stake try and take advantage of this. From Stake's point of view, this looks terrible for them because here you have a streamer other than Mitch Jones who quite literally, as a consequence of their his gambling addiction, scammed the fuckload of people out of 300,000, 400,000, maybe even more, hundreds of thousands of dollars. That's not great. That's not great because this will bring a lot of negative attention to the platform, a platform where the top streamers are gambling advertisers. This will get a lot of coverage from many different outlets, possibly you know, real news media outlets, because it's not even a regular scam. This is
I didn't know this, but Devin Nash left Twitch for this reason, apparently. The issue of gambling on Twitch should have been resolved months ago with a platform-wide ban. I left Twitch over this issue, and I still feel the exact same 8 months ago when I originally took that stand. Gambling is horrible for the platform. Get rid of it. Gambling is damaging to young Twitch users, bad for legitimate advertisers, and brings down the quality of the whole... He's a hardcore capitalist, by the way. That's why he's wording it like this. And bring down the quality of the whole site. It's not about the money. Twitch is just too bureaucratic to stand against it. Good people work there, but are corralled by bad leadership. Twitch isn't making money off gambling. They're losing the site-wide CPMs. Legitimate advertisers don't want their ads served next to the online casino ads. They don't want to support advertising gambling to kids. This decision is costing Twitch in cultural equity and real revenue. Twitch doesn't pull the trigger for the same reason simple changes take years on the website. The right people don't care. Good people in partnerships and PM positions working hard that have corporate clout to push the issue through leadership. While I'm hot on this, we shouldn't let the behavior of gambling addicts off either. Every streamer is accountable for their own platform. You don't give Sliker a pass because of his gambling addiction. He maliciously scammed dozens of people and ruined lives. Yeah, the addiction never forgives the action and the things that it has to do with the victims. That's different than saying he did this because he was an addict. If ever there was a reason to ban someone from a platform, scamming dozens of people and ruining their lives with tons of visual proof is it. He tried to get me too, by the way, and I played too much EVE Online to fall for that one. Hey Devin, yo man, how's everything going? Not great, bro. Is there a chance I can ask for a fave, bro? Yeah, of course, I can help if I will. I want to do a loan. Is there any chance I can ask for a loan and pay interest back and total in a year? I gotta pay my tax. Thank you so much. There are still streamers accountable for their own platforms, but they are becoming more rare. That's why I support Trainwreck's TV. Oh my god, Devin, are you serious? He gambles, but his messaging about gambles is clear to everyone. He also funnels hundreds of thousands of dollars to mental health and charity. So it's okay. He offsets the damage he does with all the thousands of people he converts into cryptocurrency gambling by donating to charities. So it works out fucking Pure capitalist through and through until the very end. Also, he invites me onto his really popular podcast. I'm usually a frequent guest on there, so that also helps in that I give him a pass, but everyone else is wrong. Yes, we should not have gambling on the platform. It ruins the platform, except for Trainwrecks. He's cute. He's cute because he says you shouldn't gamble in the name of the stream, and that definitely offsets anyone from converting into becoming cryptocurrency gambling. Yeah, there you go. Unfortunately, there's only one Trainwrecks TV out there. Fucking, oh my god. And dozens more rats who will abuse the system and their audience for fame and dollars. This is a platform problem, not a people problem. Create the environment for people to thrive and they will appear. Twitch could easily win big by getting rid of gambling once and for all. I gave up a platform earning $15,000 a month and have turned down millions of dollars in gambling sponsors directly through my agency because evil only thrives when good people stand by and do nothing. I mean, everyone's going to have their own, like, I'm noble because I don't do this. It should be the bare fucking minimum. I'm sorry. You're like, no one is noble because they've turned down the gambling streams. Like, I have turned down the gambling streams. That doesn't make me a noble saint. Like, the fact that you are taking advantage of your audiences and converting them into a dangerous behavior that you know is bad, especially Trainwrecks. If he says he knows it's bad and you shouldn't do it, but he's totally fine taking hundreds of thousands of dollars to do that, I'm sorry, that's the bare fucking minimum. As a streamer, you do have a responsibility.
Is a 3-year-long scam that is grand larceny.
XQC gets millions a month to promote it. He brought in 188 million on his sponsor code. I'm sure he wants to protect that. Holy fuck. Yeah, that's horrifying. That's horrifying. Like, I'm sorry. They're both scumbags for doing that. And like, they have a lot of future problems and damage on their hands. It's like, you are misusing the responsibility that you have as the biggest streamers on this platform.
In wire fraud that is
like, he's always, and the thing that pisses me off about Trainwrecks, he is always going off about women. Shameless, fucking shameless. Every single one of these women, shameless, no talent, fucking putting their titties out there. They're not entertainers, taking advantage of men. Shameless. And it's like bling, 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 fucking, oh, 36-hour stream, fucking sponsored directly by cryptocurrency, fucking gambling.
To the tune of possibly, at the minimum, $300,000. I don't think people understand the severity of this. I think people are looking at it like it's a fucking...
They hide behind personal responsibility. Well, fuck that noise. Honestly, you can't do that. Like, it's up to every single one of you to do what you will with the false information I'm about to tell you. Like, we don't give people passes who lie about this shit. Like, when Ben Shapiro uses his platform to talk about the myth of the radical Muslim minority, and all of a sudden people get so afraid that they, like, you know, cause mass shootings, we don't give Ben Shapiro a pass on that. We say he is irresponsibly lying to people. And if you are using your platform like Trainwrecks or XQC to get people addicted to gambling, but you're saying out loud, well, gambling's bad, you shouldn't do it. I mean, personal responsibility. All of you are going to watch me for 36 hours win millions of dollars when you may never have that opportunity. You're never going to be able to safely gamble $10,000 a hand and not worry about it because you're getting hundreds of thousands of dollars from the very company that you're gambling on the system with. But you'll probably see that win and be like, holy shit, you can win $1.5 million in a couple minutes? That's wild. Man, I gotta try this. There's a code. I can get my first, like, $20 free.
Meme or a joke or drama or someone being cringe. Sliker doesn't use stake, he does sports betting. I know. Sliker himself did not actually get addicted to gambling off of stake. I wanted everyone to understand. That's why I asked him, how did you get started? I wanted everyone to understand how easily people get started with gambling as an addiction. Because that's the reason why I asked him that. Because I wanted people to understand, like, it's that simple. It could be off of a fucking...
I would rather watch Booba. Yes, a million times, yes. I mean, I don't understand why... Well, I do, sexism. Why women who have fucking, you know, bikini streams, pool streams, they're always vilified. Always. It like, it's a fucking theme. You know, the titty streamers, blah, blah. Not even women on this platform who aren't doing, like, titty streaming, who aren't doing, like, fucking clearly sexual content. Like, I'm riding a banana, I'm doing, like, orgasms into ASMR, shit like that. Like, women who are just streamers but show cleavage, they get all the shit too. Then it's just fucking like, oh, well, you fucking, she's only popular because she's hot. She's only popular because blah, blah, blah. Well, there's examples of women who don't show cleavage and are still popular. What's the, oh, she's fucking hot though, bro. It's only because of her looks. No talent, bro. Fucking blah, blah, blah. Like, there are women who do sexual streams that are also fucking hilarious. Look at Qbot. She does a dating show, and she's probably the best debater on this platform. better than Destiny, better than anyone who was ever a debate bro or whatever. She roasts motherfuckers for a living. You know, yes, you can say she's dressed sexy, you can say she's really attractive, whatever you want to say, but her entire show centers around her as an entertainer, that she is really fucking funny, and she's able to just roast into people who call in trying to date her. That's the entire, like, fucking purpose of that show. Are you gonna tell me that the only reason she has 4,000, 5,000 viewers is just because she's good looking, just because she brings on good looking people, not because people not only get someone who is good looking? Same thing with Hasan. Hasan is good looking, but there's also content beyond his looks. Same thing with Qbot. Like, she's good looking, fine, but she also brings on people who she also is fucking hilarious. She will roast people. It's just like, it's this weird double standard. It's this double standard where it's like, if it's a woman, the only reason she could ever be popular on this platform is because she's got nice tits. And if it's a man, it's because he's a really good content producer. He does a bunch of different shit. That's just the struggle for us dudes, you know? Us dudes, we gotta struggle with this because no one will ever watch us based on attractiveness as well. I mean, the only blah blah blah, like that kind of shit.
CSGO knife skin. We need to address the problem that gambling streams are still allowed on this platform. As long as it's legal to gamble on stream, more people will cause pain to themselves and others. Yeah. Sliker is one person with a prominent fucking platform, which allowed him to be able to steal from so many people. The reason why I am offering more coverage to this, you know, and people will say, oh, drama farming, that's why you're doing it. No, the reason why I'm offering coverage to this is because he's a very real life example of a fucking gambling addict. And you
Problem being somewhat attractive is one of the entry requirements for streaming nowadays. I mean, if you don't consider yourself attractive and you don't have like self-worth from that, there are very popular streamers who are VR streamers, who are avatar streamers, who don't even show their real faces on their stream ever. And that's how they stream. If that is the barrier for entry, I mean, there are VTubers. Yeah, there's alternatives to that, but I don't even think that in and of itself is 100% true. I think people can become, like, I think 100% there's an advantage in society overall for people who are more attractive. That is just like, there's enough science and studies that show that, you know, asymmetry, the facial construction, all this kind of shit. People are always telling you, and trust me, as someone who used to be fat, you will never hear the end of it when you are not fat anymore from everyone around you. Every friend and family member you have will be like, oh shit, you lost so much weight. Good for you, man. You were huge before. Damn. Yeah. Oof. Well, I mean, keep it off. Hopefully you can keep it off. Yeah, but good for you, man. Fuck. Not fat anymore. Cool. That's good. Yeah. Like, yeah, that's the way society is just, you know, completely fucking constructed around people's self-worth. Way worse for women, but overall everyone's self-worth based on what we consider to be conventionally levels of attractive. That is a complete truth to it. But that being said, that is a problem universally with all jobs, all careers, anything of say. And in entertainment, yes, it's probably even accelerated even more because it's something that's supposed to be visual, but it's not the only thing stopping streamers, and it's certainly not the only reason why women are successful on this platform. Like, there's a lot of women who are very beautiful and who are very successful on this platform, and yes, beauty does play a part, but it's not the only fucking part. It's like, it's so like, it's just that thing where you dehumanize women because their only value is their looks, so they can't be successful for reasons other than, like, there is like supermodel smoke show looking women on this. Like, click on hot tubs right now, go scroll through it. There is, again, conventionally super hot women who only have like 150 viewers. They're not like, well, she's hot, she's got a show, she's gonna have like 10k viewers now. That's not how it works. The people who grow to that size and have like the 10k viewers, they are also talented. They are entertainers. There's more to them than just the titties.
As viewers, as people on this platform, have been able to quite literally see that from point A to point Z, from start to finish, from top to bottom. This is a very good teachable moment for a lot of you who may or may not have found themselves gambling a little bit more. I don't think Sliker is remorseful at all. I don't think he's remorseful. I think he got caught, and he got handed a big dub here by other nicer individuals who are going to, you know, cover his scamming. Glad other people can pay off his debts while he goes to therapy treatment, hopefully for his addiction. I mean, if that happens, then that's great.
I agree. If that happens, that's great, but it's still a super fucked up story, and that's not like a bailout in this case, and especially a bailout by the two people who promote gambling the most on this platform. Then that needs to be called out. Like, that's a huge fucking problem. that shouldn't let the conversation die. Like, that shouldn't be like, it's like, it is good. It is genuinely good if a whole bunch of, especially not like the bigger streamers, they're fine. They're making fucking $10,000, $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 a month. They're going to be completely fine. I'm talking about the thousands of, or sorry, I don't know the number, but whatever number of his fans were scammed, especially ones that have serious medical debts to pay and need that money. Yes, they are the ones that need to be bailed out immediately. That should be the priority. It should be like whatever person is hired accountant to figure out who owes what debts where. But that doesn't change the fact, that doesn't absolve Sliker of stealing. He stole. Like, so that is still a thing. You still stole. Even if someone is coming and bailing you out, that doesn't change the fact that you stole that money. That it doesn't absolve you of the things that you had done either. And yeah, I'm like, if Twitch is not going to take a stand on this, if this is permissible, then where is the boundary for TOS? I can get banned if I call myself the C word, as a C word, by the way. That's why I'm saying C word right now. That is a bannable offense. Twitch is like, for the safety and protection of our community, it is best that that word not be uttered out loud in reference to a white person. So we're not going to let you do that. So you will be banned if you try. But if you scam your own audience, if I scammed a whole bunch of people in my audience, including my mods, including a fucking cancer patient, out of their money to fuel my gambling addiction, or I promote gambling addictions to the highest level as these motherfuckers do, that's completely fine. That's completely fine.
I'm gonna add Train to the call. Yeah, I mean, he wants to be in. Are you okay with that or not?
Who are you adding?
Train, are you okay with that?
Okay, sure, yeah.
Okay.
Run Train on me. My main points that I want to make is that, one, these are unregulated gambling sites. Two, people say that your audience is older, but like, I mean, you're gonna have a lot of kids watching you on Twitch, okay?
You can make that case an argument and have a point for any content creator.
I'm gonna ask you a question, okay? A very simple one. Have you sat through a 20-hour stream of mine? Just one of them?
No.
See, like, this is the problem. So like, my biggest like,
you're misrepresenting gambling as a concept, even though it's already bad. You're making it worse just for bag, which is legitimately pretty evil.
How much money do you get paid every month from them?
Well, right now I'm.
It's so wild that XQC went from this stance to fucking fully doing it. Like the morals, even Destiny has higher ethical standards than this. He doesn't do the gambling streams. I'm sure he's been offered money for the gambling streams. Even fucking Destiny.
How much do they pay you as a flat fee every month?
I'll tell you, $1 million a month, and I'm down 2.8 million this month.
You also get a commission from the people that use your bonus code, right?
I get amount wagered, but I don't push the code at all, and I tell people
on your screen the whole time,
okay,
right?
Okay.
It is on my screen, but I tell people not to gamble at all. Every hour, every win, I tell them not to gamble. I tell them they will
come on.
lose. What do you mean, come on?
That's performative.
I love this. Can you imagine if you had a show and it was like the crystal meth hour where you were just like, all right, I got the best new meth. It was cooked in the, my friend's basement. We're going to just do this right now. Kids, don't smoke meth. Does a whole bunch of meth, then right afterwards, like, whoa, this shit is fun as fuck. And then right afterwards, it's like, holy shit, I have been up for 5 days. I am seeing shit. I have not eaten. I have cleaned my house 27 times. I am loving life. This is amazing. I've never felt better in my life. Kids, you probably shouldn't do meth, though. You probably shouldn't do meth. Don't do meth, anybody. Don't do that, okay? This episode is sponsored by meth, by the way.
You know, there's a reason they're paying you $1 million a month. You could say, hey, fucking don't gamble. You're gambling. They're paying you $1 million a month flat to gamble. You're getting a commission from all the people using your code. It's not, you can't just dance around it like, hey guys, wink wink, don't gamble. That's just, I understand.
No, wait, let me respond. You are virtue signaling and high roading at that point. I am not pushing my code in hopes to make money from my.
And then the language comes out, of course, right? Oh, you're woke SJW, fucking virtue signaling, fucking, why you woke scolding my gambling fucking monopoly, bro? Why you woke scolding my gambling empire? Can't someone just fucking set up a gambling empire and convert his thousands and thousands of young fans into becoming gamblers in order to make millions of dollars a month in profit? Can I just, without getting some fucking woke scolds all over me?
Code. I am not telling them. And
why be sponsored at all?
Wait, do you know that when I won that million, I put 3.5 million in to get that million? No, you don't. And let me tell you what, if you did know it, you would still exclude it because it doesn't fit your narrative to sell the show that you need to be successful.
I don't think the fact that you're losing money, you're saying I'm in it for the love of the game, which is great, which is nice and all, but you're still getting paid
Again, back to my other example, that would be like him saying, well, yeah, but bro, I smoked meth. That's really bad for you, bro. So, like, at the end of the day, I both said you shouldn't smoke meth, and I had to end up smoking meth, and smoking meth is bad for you. And it's like, yeah, okay, so that doesn't justify what you're doing. Like, the end result of your actions should not depend on whether or not you are good or not good at gambling, and whether or not you do a little wink to the camera and say, don't gamble, by the way.
$1 million a month. And how much are you making on your code, by the way?
In 3 months, I made 250K. In 3 months, that's nothing.
That's a crazy amount. Jesus
7 times the average income is nothing.
Yeah.
It's a different world, really. It's an entirely different world. Just to wrap your head around.
$250,000 is a lot of money, by the way.
How can you tell me that I'm making it look sustainable when you just admitted you haven't watched a single stream? Can you tell me that as an
you tell me, how can you pay? Most people can't sustain losing millions of dollars a month. That doesn't seem like a sustainable hobby to me.
Now you want to shame me because I can? Gambling is degenerate. You understand?
Rich shaming? Yes, that is a totally acceptable and adequate form of shaming. Not only rich shaming, but rich shaming for how you became rich. Like, what was your methodology here? And if it happens to be getting thousands and thousands of people addicted to gambling, well then, yeah, shame on you. That is shameless, to borrow your own title.
This argument is dumb. If somebody wants to lose all their money, I mean, they can if they have the funds for it. I mean,
you don't gamble to make money, and if you watched one of my streams, H3,
you do.
Yeah, because I'm fucking addicted and I'm a fucking idiot. But it's not sustainable. I've lost the last 8 minutes.
You're deluded, bro. You know everything you're doing is wrong, and you don't want to give it up because you're good.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna be the referee. He throws real facts and concrete evidence at you, and you throw curveballs and nonchalance at him, and it upsets him.
Evidence. He says,
in the beginning before Matt, you were talking to you, I had this inkling feeling you're doing this for a show. Now that I'm sitting here talking to you and telling you this stuff, and your responses are these, I know for a fact it's a show. Like, this is insane to me.
Bro, my honest human-to-human advice is that I really think that you need help with your gambling addiction.
Okay.
Like, it just sounds like in a really real way that you are in a really bad spot. It's hurting you, and it sounds like you do have a lot of money invested from crypto, which is amazing. And I don't think anyone wants you to lose your ass doing this, because gambling, you're gonna lose everything. And and the people watching are gonna lose everything too if they're getting involved.
What is this, Dr. Phil? Well, guys, come on, man.
Woo! Awesome Ox. 2 for 2. Those were 2 amazing fucking new clippies today. Back and forth. Do you enjoy the Serfs but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback, because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free. Just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demel, Mark Harmon, Benji Arnie, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Katie, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tao, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropofojak, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Inkosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.